Hey everybody, welcome to the Exciter Show. I'm Chris Pugh. Paul Yanchuk will be with us a little bit later, but I got Joe Frost with me. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Just down here surviving, doing the thing.
Yeah, how's the water down there? I haven't
They
checked.
got the water pressure back up, which is a
Okay.
big deal because really nothing else can really get fixed unless there's consistent water pressure. And in fact, they say they haven't been advertising too much of this over the past number of months or whatever, but they say that they've got the water pressure in the city's system consistently higher than it's been for a number of months, and possibly longer. So I think that can be nothing but good things. But now that the water pressure is back up, they're going to start testing for its cleanliness again. So we're still under boil water notice, but now we can flush our toilets and take showers and stuff.
Yeah, Joe Frost lives in the Mississippi area and Jackson, Mississippi,
Hmm.
as the time is taping. And you never know with these things, Joe. I mean, people could be listening into this 20 years from now. We're taping in early September of 2022, and there's some water issues in Jackson, Mississippi. So,
Yeah, it came along with some. I mean, the water system has been struggling for a long time, but then there was some real strong, hard rains for a number of days, and so we had a lot of flooding on the Pearl River that goes right through Jackson, and that compromised the already struggling water system here.
yeah.
Yeah, we gotten some state and federal aid, people coming in from Georgia and Louisiana and whatever coming over to help try to get this thing fixed. So they've gotten the water pressure back up, which is really positive. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, just hope that things keep progressing in a good direction. And so that's good. Hey, well, we're starting out today. Found a goofy story I wanted to talk to you about. I saw this restaurant, and it's called Just Eat. And trying to figure out from the address, where's this at? Are you familiar with Just Eat? Well,
No.
I guess it's called the Captain's Table, right?
Well, that's the name of the group on Facebook, right? Is it the Captain's Table, the restaurant?
Possibly. I don't know because if you look at the receipt, there's Just Eat at the top, and right below the receipt it says the Captain's Table. Now I'm really confused here.
Just Eat
So,
is an online food order and delivery brand.
okay, and the restaurant itself is called the Captain's Table, right?
Right. So it's Just Eat is like a DoorDash or something like that. They're the delivery service, and I guess the Captain's Table was the name of the restaurant.
Well, and it looks like a British restaurant too.
Right.
Okay, very interesting. So they shared a Facebook post from August 30th, so about a week ago. Um, so somebody ordered food from this, and I guess what they like to sell is chicken pakora. I think that's what we pronounce it. Um, so apparently there was a kid born either right during the meal or shortly after a meal. Um, there's a contact delivery, free delivery according to receipt. It says my wife had just called her newborn daughter Pecora after a favorite dish from the captain's table. So apparently, the wife loved Pecora, and she named her daughter after the dish. Okay, Pecora is a nice name, right? I mean, at least it's not like you called your kid hamburger or pizza or tomato or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe it's not as strange because I'm not sure what Pecora is. Have you heard Pecora before?
I had not heard of it before, but it is a spiced fritter
Mm-hmm.
originating from the Indian subcontinent. They are sold by street vendors and served in restaurants in South Asia and in the UK. So it is a like chickpea batter that's fried,
Okay.
and then sometimes contains vegetables such as potatoes and onions, or coated and seasoned in graham flour batter and deep fried. So you
Hmm.
might have variations like eggplant, cauliflower, spinach, mixed vegetables, chicken.
Well, here's the question. you didn't know it until you looked it up, right?
Right. Yeah, I just looked it up.
Okay. So, again, like if you called your kid Pizza or something, yeah, I mean, you should go to jail. I mean, take your parenting rights away. This is tough.
You think so?
But if you don't know what pakora is, yeah, maybe in India or wherever, people are like, oh yeah, we know what pakora is. But if you don't know what pakora is it that bad of a name? I guess that's what I'm kind of curious about.
I don't know. People choose strange names for their children. Ivy, like Apple, like you get all kinds of crazy stuff. But sometimes it's just a matter of how you like the sound of the word and what it evokes for you. I don't know. You may be setting the child up for all kinds of stuff if it's something that people would recognize where you live. Is there like a food that's unique to the Columbus area that other people might not know about?
Not that I know of. I'm a boring eater. Like I don't eat too much off the wall stuff. I'm in the pizza hamburger crowd.
Yeah. For the most part, so am I. But I'm trying to think of. I don't think there's really anything too much in Jackson cuisine that's that unusual. That isn't words that people would already recognize in other places. But people in that area might recognize this as opposed to going somewhere else and like nobody would know that that's actually a spiced fritter.
Well, when we adopted our daughter, we named her Ashlyn, Ashlynn, and
All one word?
yeah, and
Okay.
we just thought it was a real nice name, so we said, okay, here's her name. We're good to go. It was interesting because if you remember, about an hour and a half north of Columbus, there's a city called Ashland, Ashland.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was funny because when we first introduced our daughter to friends and family members, there were some that really thought we named her Ashland after the city. And we're like, no, we didn't do that and everything. So I guess here's my thought. I think we're okay because we like the name and we never thought that people would mistake her for Ashland. Well, if you look at this Facebook post, the wife loves this dish. So it's not like, okay, the name sounds like a dish and there's some confusion there. The wife's like, hey, here's my favorite food. This is what we're naming our daughter. So, like, it would be like if my wife and I said, we love the city of Ashland, so we're going to name our daughter after Ashland because it's a great city. That's what I find
Is there
strange.
something wrong with that? I mean, there are people who name their children after cities they like.
Okay.
Sometimes, it's for some people it is reminiscent of where it was that the child was conceived. But
is the city different than a food, though?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't. I had 5 shots at naming children, and I didn't choose to do anything wacky like that. All of mine are fairly unique names, but are all names that were in or are derivative of names that are in my family already.
Okay. Because I guess my thought is I'm wondering if it's different to name your kid after your favorite food, maybe than like a favorite city. I don't know. Look, I don't want to condemn this woman.
It's all about the sound of the word sometimes. It's just
Yeah.
about the word pakora. I mean, it actually isn't that horrible as a name. There could be so many names that are worse than that.
Yeah, the name sounds fine. The name doesn't bug me, but I'm kind of wondering, okay, if they're honest with the kid as she grows up, okay, how did I get my name, Mom? Oh, I love that food. That chicken
I
kicks
have
butt.
a feeling that if she loves the food that much, they're going to keep eating that food.
Wow.
And it'll be something that the daughter runs into. That, oh, there's this food. It must be named after me.
Do you think she will like the food because it's named after her? Hi, I'm Pakora. I'd like to order some Pakora tonight. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That'd be kind of strange.
I'm going to order some meat tonight.
Yeah. Well, it's not really cannibalistic, but I don't know.
Right.
That'd be kind of different.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is very interesting. And I'm wondering, too, on the receipt, they acknowledge the fact she named after favorite food. They're like, oh, we can't wait to meet her. This is going to be fantastic. Is there going to be some discounts coming? I mean,
Maybe.
what
That's
better?
awful.
I mean, Pecora is a food. It's not like they named her McDonald's or Burger King or something. But
Right.
yeah, that's got to be a great advertisement. My goodness, you named it.
You know, just calling your kid Big Mac.
Yeah, I mean, what better advertisement for Big Mac?
Yeah.
That's your name.
Is it? Unless that kid gets arrested for something.
Yes, that's true.
And then you're like, ugh. It's like all of the people who name their children after like famous people or character. My favorite is naming your kid after the character in Game of Thrones in the early seasons, and then you have no idea what that character is going to do by the end of the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the character's a scuzzball or something.
Like, oh no, I named my child after this.
Well, that's it. That's the other thing too, because Game of Thrones kind of withstood the test of time. It wasn't like a one-hit wonder, but by the time my kid becomes 20,
the characters changed. Like,
right?
They would betray somebody, or they'd do something that was bad, but for presumably good reasons. But it's still something bad, and you're like, oh, well, I wish I hadn't named my child that.
But what's the chances the whole series is going to be popular 20 years from now? Like, could you imagine, like, okay, let's say your parents, what was the show that was popular when we were born? Maybe Chips? Like, my family used to watch Chips. So maybe if they called you Paunch.
Really. Oh,
okay.
Gosh, what would it have been back then? Yikes.
Well, Paunch was a popular character on Chips. Could you imagine? So they call you Paunch. In the first couple of years, you're like, oh, wow, little Paunch there, loved the Chip show. But now people will be like, what? What's Paunch?
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. But that's a common trend in child naming. There's all kinds of stuff like that, where for a long time it would be there were obviously biblical characters was a favorite for a long time. Then it'd be naming your kid after some famous person, a politician or author or something like that. And then as time shifted and you got into television, people were naming their kids after television characters, especially during the 60s and 70s. People, mothers housewives wanting to name their children after characters on the soap operas or something. You get a lot of names that came from soap operas.
Well, we talk about that. We talk a lot about Pittsburgh Steelers guys, and Marcus Allen. I know we talked about this, I think it was a year ago. The best high school basketball player in Canton last year was named Kobe. And I'm not positive he was named after Kobe, but I think he was.
What other Kobe? Were you a big fan of the beef?
Yeah, Kobe beef.
It's going to be Kobe Bryant.
Weren't you named after Kobe Bryant? No, my parents loved Kobe beef. They wanted to tip their hat to Kobe beef. Yeah. Make sure it's fantastic.
It was either Pecora or Kobe.
That would be rough, though, because if you name your kid Kobe, he better be a good basketball player. I
mean, could you imagine? Like,
it just stunk of basketball.
There's the new captain of the chess club is Kobe.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, it'd be tough.
The president of the AV club is named LeBron.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Well, I mean, LeBron's been in the league for 19 years. Wonder why there hasn't been a lot more LeBron high school basketball players. Like you would think there'd be like 1 year where the whole basketball team's made up of LeBrons. The people named LeBron.
All right, LeBron, you pass it to LeBron.
Yes,
set up LeBron. LeBron, you set the pick. Yeah.
Or maybe the kid's names got changed based on what they were good at. Like maybe you call your kid Kobe, but if he can't make a shot, you're like, oh man, we better change him to something else. Good. Like if he was great at chess, name him after a famous chess player or whatever.
Name one famous chess player. Go.
Kasparov, right?
What?
Gary Kasparov?
Maybe.
Yeah, I've heard that guy's name before. Russian? Yeah. Ha-ha! Don't you feel bad now? Well, I'm a dork. I know stuff like that. Like, stuff I should know I couldn't tell you two of. But when you're like, name a famous chess player, I'm like, Gary Kasparov. Don't mess with me, man. It's Gary Kasparov time.
Queen's Gambit? I don't know.
I think I knew him because he was mentioned on one of those movies about chess or something
Fischer.
like that. Yeah.
For Bobby Fischer.
Oh, man. So we're going to get Paul back later. We're going to have a couple segments one tonight previewing the Bengals Steelers upcoming game, and then we're going to look back at history. We've got a guest that we hope will come on. If he comes on, he knows a lot about the Bengals Steelers history, and if he doesn't, we'll just talk Bengals Steelers history. It should be good, and we got a couple other goofy stories to talk about. That's always good. What are we talking about? Oh, Timmy Trumpet. I'm obsessed with this guy. Have you heard of Timmy Trumpet?
I'm not, but I'm about to hear a lot about him.
Oh my goodness, yeah. He's a Australian singer. He plays the trumpet, and he's like this DJ dance guy.
Timmy Trumpet.
And I heard about him because they brought him in New York because Edwin Diaz, who's the closer for the Mets, he likes playing Timmy Trumpet songs when he comes out. So Timmy Trumpet did a song live. It was kind of interesting. So, and then more goofy stories about airplanes. Airplanes are going to become our next toilet. I mean, there's lots of goofy stuff going on airplanes. There was a little fight in the cockpit between pilots. It's not good if you're on a plane, Joe, and your pilots start fighting each other.
It's not?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Take a look at Timmy Trumpet before we.
I don't want to play it now. We're gonna save it for later.
Yeah, well, I thought that'd be good because Paul's. What was Paul's big trumpet band he's in now?
Oh,
well, Horns of Steel, or
no. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Maybe that's Timmy Trumpet's backup band or something. I don't know. Who knows? So it should be good. All right. Well, we've got a possible guest coming, so I want to not go too long so we can be ready for our guests and when Paul comes. But let me finish up by talking to you about our sponsor, Cash App. We talk about Cash App a lot. It's a great way of sending money back and forth to each other. I pay my lawnmower guy in Cash App. It's so easy. Joe, I don't have to walk to the door anymore. I just look outside, the lawnmower guy is mowing.
Way to the door?
Yeah, so I go to the Cash App, open up my app, type in how much I'm paying him, and he's good to go. It's so easy. And again, if you open up an account, tie your debit account or checking account to it, you get $5 placed in your account by our friends at Cash App. So check out Cash App. It should be nice. Joe, I got to bring this up because we got a minute. I'm looking right at it. We went to see my in-laws yesterday. We took a quick trip on a school night. And my wife's like, Chris, you got an Amazon card. Amazon actually sent me a magnet of Thursday night football games. I didn't know Amazon cared that much.
Are they on Amazon this year?
Yeah. Amazon's always simulcast those games, like they're on NFL Network or Fox, and they get simulcast on Amazon. This is the first year that Amazon is actually doing the games by themselves. So if you want to watch Thursday night games, you have to have an Amazon account. So kind of interesting, and they got a pretty big name announcer team, Joe. We got Al Michaels, longtime announcer. And Kirk Herbstreit's going to be his color guy this year. So it should be interesting. And Game 3, Steelers-Browns, too. That'll be interesting for us as well.
That's the third game?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, first week's actually an NBC game. It's Rams and Bills.
This
and then
an NBC game.
Yeah, and two other teams play. I can't remember off the top of my head. But the week after that, it'll start week 3, Steelers and Browns. Yikes. Should be interesting. I'll leave it at that. All right. Well, for Joe, this is Chris. Thanks for checking our show. We'll be back shortly for another segment.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Mooney. Welcome to what is our new Hope Interrupted podcast based on the work from our book, Hope Interrupted, that I co-authored with my good friend Byron McCauley.
Hey, Jennifer. I'm looking forward to this podcast as much as I was looking forward to writing this book with you. We hope to interview some high-impact folks as well as have a little fun.
We're going to cover stories of hope. To learn more about our podcast and our book, please visit www.hopeinterrupted.com.